I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Oops the Podcast. I'm Francis Ellis, as always joined by Giulio Gallerati. G, how are you?
Yo, yo, yo. What up,
I'm
man?
Good. Yeah, well, you didn't even ask, but I'll tell you what, I'm excited. I'm a little jumping the gun today because we got a great guest, the formidable Chad from Chad Goes Deep. Chad, how are you, buddy?
What's up, dudes? Thanks for having me on.
For sure,
Man,
bro.
this is a pleasure. How you doing? Where are you?
I'm good. I'm in Culver City right now in LA. Hunkered down in my apartment. Just played some Warzone, Call of Duty, just staying safe and staying optimistic. How are you guys doing? Are you guys in New York City?
I'm on Long Island, and
Yeah.
Francis is in Maine.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We got out of there, dude.
Yeah.
We were early drinkers of the Kool-Aid, and Giulio is trying to play it cool. He says Long Island. What he really means is the Hamptons.
Oh, nice, dude.
Outing
I've been
me.
to Southampton before. It was a good beach. Good
Yeah,
beach.
there's nice beaches, man.
Yeah.
For
I
sure.
don't know if you can tell from the reclaimed wood finishes, but the place he's staying out is pretty. It's pretty lush.
Yeah. It's like a Hamptons cabin kind of.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
right. It's
Not
a
fucking
Hamptons.
around.
It's a place you'd rent for a wedding. So, Chad, you are one half of the hosts of Going Deep podcast. You guys made your name with these absolutely hysterical town hall appearances advocating for some of the funniest shit I've ever seen. A Paul Walker memorial statue, house parties, among other things. One question I have for you is, you've developed this great character. Do you find it, how close has the character come to being who you actually are? Have the two worlds kind of blended?
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty much one and the same. I mean, we basically, with every cause we come in with, it's kind of, it basically comes from our real, like, I'm a huge Paul Walker fan. I love 4th of July. I love Britney Spears. I love house parties. What else? I love scooters, so there's all truth in there.
Nice, dude.
So yeah, I mean, there's not much different other than the fact that what is different? I don't know. I mean, it's all pretty much blended into one. Honestly, I find myself blending more into the persona every day. So it's kind of like, as we've been working on this, I'm kind of like, I just feel like the same person, I guess.
Well, dude, I've been watching a lot of your vids that you've been putting up recently, and how has the quarantine situation changed your process as far as creating content, since that's something that you're trying to do regularly?
I think it's basically we just took it. So our whole sort of thing is we're just trying to get everyone stoked. We're trying to get the nation stoked. We're trying to keep people stoked, and we're like, all right, well, everyone's in quarantine, the Q-teen, everyone's kind of anxious right now. So our mission basically is just to keep everyone stoked. So that's sort of been the approach to the content at this point, is just to, keep the levity up and try and give people some form of escapism.
Yeah, I recognize that painting from one of your videos.
Oh, dude, my IKEA wave. Yeah. I got this when I first moved up to LA from Orange County. And I don't remember how much it was, but it's going to stay with me for the rest of my life for sure.
It's sick, dude.
That's from IKEA.
That looks like the sort of thing that came in a frame that you would buy.
Yeah. Dude, yeah.
It's like
Totally.
the insert of someone who was just buying the frame, and you kept that and threw the frame out.
Yeah. I just got a new apartment, and my GF was like, she's like, "What are you gonna put on the walls?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? I have my IKEA wave. Like, that's all I need." That brings the vibes along with it. So
Hell
like
yeah.
in Collateral, that movie with Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx, when
Yeah.
he's driving the taxi cab and he has like the picture of the beach,
Oh, yeah.
the thing. That's my vacation. Yeah.
That's a spooky movie. It's so eerie to see Tom Cruise with like salt and pepper hair.
Oh yeah, he crushed it though.
Oh,
He
it's
was
so
great.
good.
He looked hot, dude.
Yeah, he did look good.
Yeah, he does look hot.
It looks great. You know what I heard is that there's a scene in that movie where they start to get jumped, I think, and Tom Cruise comes into the alley because Jamie Foxx is being hassled by these guys, and he pulls a gun out of his holster or his pocket or whatever and shoots these guys so quickly that the clip was used as a training piece for police academies and military people.
Oh really?
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think it speaks to Tom Cruise's dedication to stunts and how he's known to do all of his own stunts or a lot of them, but he takes it very seriously, all the hand-to-hand combat stuff. He's like Keanu Reeves a little bit in that way.
Yeah, he's a beast. We were JP and I were shooting an episode of Hawaii FiveO, and we didn't have a stunt, but we were like on top of a building. And so they had to like harness us in because we were like talking over it, And so it was like we were this close to a stunt. But we had stunt guys watching over us, and we were asking them about Tom Cruise, and there were all these Hawaiian dudes who were super buff and stuff. And we're like, "What do you guys think of Tom Cruise?" And they're like, "Oh, he's the real deal. That guy's a beast." Like everyone respects him so much. Yeah, he's the man.
Dude, I have this theory about him, about Tom Cruise, that like when all the Scientology shit came out, he was like, I got to do my own stunts now, dude. The only way I'm going to win America back.
So I got to level up.
Yeah.
Every Mission Impossible movie that comes out, you're sort of like, he's getting closer and closer to killing himself. Like he lands in a helicopter.
It's insane.
The thing I wonder is because they probably do hire stunt guys to show up, and you mentioned that, Chad, that he's well liked among the stunt community, but part of me wonders if every day that these guys show up to work and he's just like, don't worry about it, guys, I got it. Are they like, well, what the fuck am I even doing here? I could see some resentment forming from that.
Yeah, I've thought about that too. Actually, it's sort of like he's putting the stunt guys out of work. So
yeah,
it is an interesting thing. I mean, I don't know how they feel about that. But I think from what I gathered from the guys on Hawaii FiveO, he's such a beast with how he pulls everything off. So I think the respect for him is there. But yeah, I wonder about that with stunt guys. They're like, dude, quit doing these stunts, man. Let me jump off the building.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's pretty cool that you guys were in an episode. How many episodes of Hawaii FiveO did you do?
Just one.
Yeah.
Sick though.
Yeah.
What was that like? Tell us about that a little.
Oh, dude, it was incredible. The crew was amazing. I mean, they're all, from Hawaii, like local hire. So they're all from Hawaii, and they all had like the aloha vibes. So it was, they're very hardworking, and like it was a really hardworking, nice crew. But they also had that sort of aloha mentality to go along with it. So it was like the happiest crew I've ever seen. And they're all super tan, which I really respected. And we were just eating poke. I mean, it was awesome, dude. And I didn't get to meet Scott Conn, unfortunately, which I was bummed about because he was on the show. But
yeah. Well, he was so good in Entourage, people forget.
Yeah,
Does that show shoot in LA or in Hawaii?
Hawaii?
It shoots in Hawaii?
Yeah, it shoots in Honolulu.
That's sick.
Yeah. So like the crew, they worked on like Lost, and then Hawaii FiveO, and then Magnum PI, and then like the Jurassic Park movies.
Right.
So they're well versed in like, this is like the humidity crew. I mean, they they go where things are warm.
Yeah.
Dude.
It was
It's amazing.
How do you feel that like your personal like content machine that you've created has positively impacted your conventional acting career?
Good. I mean, I guess that was sort of the intention. I don't know. It's funny. It's funny how things sort of have developed. It's sort of like once we started making videos and really, really diving deep into what we enjoy doing and what we sort of find funny ourselves, and just tapping in, like, because JT and I are both sort of naturally so optimistic that we just sort of tapped into that side of ourselves more so. It's funny how things just sort of snowballed from there, and we just sort of discovered these things along the way, and it's just created this path for us that we've sort of have built, like the podcast and then like our videos and everything else that's come with it. So
Awesome.
Yeah, the power of the internet is crazy.
I don't mean to bring us back to Hawaii, but I had another thing I wanted to share about Hawaii.
Sorry.
It's okay. Just, whatever. Don't do it again. The question I have is the hang loose symbol, right? Is it in any way when you're in Hawaii? Because I know there's some friction between the locals and the tourists.
Right.
Is there any way that you might offend someone if you were to throw a hang loose sign? Is there a certain way that is more like culturally appropriating of it? Might you get yourself in trouble if you threw one of those up too quickly?
Dude, that's a good question. I think it all comes down to your vibe in Hawaii. If you're schmoling it up,
What is that?
No, I don't. No.
The schmol is like a dude with a good heart who kind of sucks. Or a renob, which is boner backwards. If you're
those are synonyms, those two things?
Yeah. Schmoll is a renob.
That's awesome.
So I think in Hawaii, like, it's all about respect. So first off, if you're rocking sandals with socks and, bringing out a big rental board and a big sun hat, and you give them one of these, I mean, I would be offended for them.
Right.
So, and then it all comes, if you're out there surfing and you're, disrespectful, you're stealing waves, you're snaking waves, especially from the locals, and then you give them a hang loose, they'll fuck you up. I think it all comes down to respect. It is funny though, when we were shooting, there's this one extra on set, super tan guy with like a top knot, and I figured he was a local, like from Hawaii. He's like, yeah, bro, shoots. I'm from, let's go get some poke, And then some extras like, where are you from? He's like, I'm from Seattle. It's funny how, like, some people, when they go to Hawaii, it seems like they totally transform.
Yeah.
That.
I tried, but I could not have stuck out more. I have to wear shirts when I swim. And because my skin is so fair, and the problem with that is it makes your nipples hurt a lot.
Right.
You get the stinging nipples. It feels like you're constantly being stung by jellyfish. So I would sometimes I would lift it up over the nips and wear it as like a high midriff, and they didn't like that. That was the first thing. The second thing was I had a roommate in college whose parents were extremely wealthy. I'm talking multiple billions of dollars.
Right.
And so we flew over on their private jet And when you get off the private jet, they immediately put a lei over your head with real flowers. That's how you know how wealthy they are. And we went to their like resort compound that's part of this very, very elite place.
Mm-hmm.
And we went spearfishing with not mechanical spearfishing. It was like you had a sling and you kind of just slingshot it off your arm or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, the people who ran this operation were either locals or had been living there for many years. And they handed each of us a chart with fish species. And one side was like fish you can shoot, and the other side was fish you cannot shoot. There must have been 40 different species on each side.
Wow.
And they were also hand drawn by
really?
like a child. So it was hard. You know, you're looking through a snorkel mask underwater being like, can I kill that?
Yeah.
My buddy shot a puffer fish.
Oh, dude.
And he brought it in on the spear and was like, come on, guys, let's take a picture.
Yeah.
And 4 of the people ran down, and I'm not kidding you, one of the women started to cry.
Really?
Started crying because he had killed this like sacred, beloved, symbolic fish. This
wow.
we did not show our face on the beach for the rest of the time.
yeah, dude.
Fucking nightmare.
It's a bad time for a hang loose, dude.
Yeah, did he try to hang loose?
No, we wanted to hang ourselves. It was terrible.
Yeah, that's terrifying. I mean, and I assume I've never gone spearfishing, but I assume you have to be pretty quick with the. Once you see it in your sights, you gotta shoot it, right?
It's not fun. You think it's going to be fun, and then the fish are so wise to people coming over them that they scatter, they're quick. As you can imagine, the only types of fish that you can actually spear are the ones that are protected because they've never had to deal with predators because they're protected by the chart.
Yeah, they don't
so it was no surprise that we shot the one, like, let's call it handicapped fish.
Yeah.
That we weren't supposed to shoot because it has no natural predators or whatever.
Yeah. Did you get any fish?
No, in fact, he was the only one who caught one, and he brought it in like it was a deflating basketball on a pump. You know, I mean, it was really sad. It was.
Did you get any shots in?
I fired my spear a handful of times, but after a while, you just watch it clatter off the rocks, and it's almost like the fish are laughing at you. And I got fed up. Not to mention, the nipple thing was really starting to hurt, and I found that the snorkel goggles were pressing in so hard on my orbital bone that I went in for hot dogs.
Yeah, dude, good call. Yeah, the salt water with the chafing, it's not a good combo.
Do you tan?
I tan often. As much as I can, dude. I've been I got this new place. I got a balcony, specifically for tanning.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. It's been tough. I mean, it's tough times here. They close the beaches,
Yeah.
So, I've been trying to get my dose in. But I enjoy tanning.
Do people violate the beach ordinances right now?
Not that I'm aware of. There was one guy in Manhattan Beach who, the day they closed the beaches, he went out to go surfing. He got $1,000 fine.
Oh shit!
And there's a video of a guy in Malibu who was stand-up paddleboarding, and the cops, the lifeguards, are chasing him down. So I think they sort of scare people off.
Yeah.
I have heard some of my friends, though, they'll surf super early in the morning before the cops are checking. But I'm just staying away.
Yeah.
I don't want to really. It's not cool to break the law during a pandemic.
Dude, I'm wondering if you get caught surfing, maybe you can just paddle to another county.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Just keep paddling.
The laws are less enforced, hopefully.
Well,
Yeah.
so
Like,
much
no,
for international waters, like what happened to the sovereignty of the ocean, right?
Yeah, maritime law.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm past the pier. This is
Guys, really quick, and I went stand-up paddling yesterday.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm in Maine, and we're right on the water here, which is great. And it was 52 degrees. So I thought, good enough. And I went out. I was wearing LL Bean boots
Nice.
and khaki pants, and then a fleece and a hooded sweatshirt. And it was strange to strap the ankle strap over my khakis and boots.
Yeah.
But then I had to stay along the shoreline because I was worried that if I fell in, I wanted to be able to only have to swim 5 or 10 feet.
Yeah.
But I went all the way to the marina, which is probably like half a mile away. And there were 2 lobstermen who had just come in.
Uh-huh.
And I was under the impression that the lobster industry had really been decimated by this because apparently 72% of seafood caught by fishermen and lobstermen is sold in restaurants. And with restaurants closed down, they've been decimated. But he said that things are starting to actually pick back up because he's found this like black market where he's just selling fish and lobster directly to people in their cars.
Oh, interesting.
And so I ordered 6 lobster and I'm going to pick them up from him tonight.
On the side of the road?
I'm going to go back on my paddleboard and get them from him in the marina.
Do you know how to prepare a lobster? Like, you boil them and everything?
Oh, yeah, I'm from Maine. Yeah, it's second fiddle.
Oh, nice.
That's not the right term, but you know what I mean.
You're
So
actually going to go on the paddleboard?
Yeah, I went yesterday.
Holy shit.
I'll bring a backpack with seaweed in it and then bring the lobsters back live.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you drop them in the boiling water, or do you kill them first?
I drop them in the boiling water.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm a bit of a sadist. I've been torturing birds my whole life.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you got to work your way up. You start small.
Yeah. I stayed abroad in Spain, and my host family, yeah, they were telling me, they were like, you can either boil it, or he just had this live lobster, and he was like, show me the shit. He's like, or you can just put a knife through its head like that. And I'm like, oh, fuck, dude. It was all in Spanish, too. And I was like, oh.
Oh, Jesus. No, but I heard that, since lobsters don't have a nervous system or something, that they don't feel pain. Who knows if that's true?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think there are more humane ways to do it, but I don't care.
Yeah. They seem pretty primitive.
Yes. Did you guys know that lobsters used to be food that was fed to prison inmates?
Really?
I did hear something like that.
They're so plentiful, and they're bottom feeders. They crawl along the floor of the ocean, and upper class people would never eat them because they eat shit at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
And so the only people who would eat them, they would feed them to prisoners. And then now, obviously, lobster, you go to a restaurant, it's the most expensive thing on the menu.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That's like quinoa, dude. Quinoa, they used to only feed it to chickens.
Really?
Yeah. And now it's like a superfood for humans, obviously.
Yeah.
Thanks for one-upping me, Giulio.
Hey, man. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, what do you got? Sorry.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's so interesting how it just like, I don't even know what I'm going to say. Yeah.
Dude, so I have a question for you, man. Like, you guys seem like you pump out a lot of shit. Now, and Francis, this question's for you too.
Okay.
When you guys go into your week or whatever, are you like, all right, this week we're going to put out 2 videos? Like, do you have a system like that in place, or do you kind of just do it as the ideas come to you, or what's the process?
It kind of a combination of both. I guess, whenever an idea comes to us for something that we want to do, then we'll just go out and shoot it. But we try to keep some consistency just to like keep everyone engaged. Mm-hmm. So, we try to like put something out, at least 2 things a week, something like that, just to keep the engagement up. But then, when it comes to like going to the city council or something, we just wait until we get kind of inspired to go in. You know what I mean? Because it has to be something that we really, care about. And that it comes from the heart as opposed to just like searching for different causes, where it's like, where our heart's not really in it, because I think the council can tell, and then I think they won't be as persuaded.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Have they become wise to you guys? I mean, do they see you approach at this point and say, here we go?
They know who we are, and they love it. We go to LA City Council and the cops give us daps. Which feels good. It's nice to have the LAPD on your side. I mean, it's fun. Yeah, it's pure activism.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
All right. So in light of that, here's a question. So first of all, Chad, are you an animal person? Do you have like a dog or any pets?
I am an animal person. I don't have any pets. I've been thinking about getting a dog.
Nice. Okay. So that's great. You mentioned you're with your girlfriend. We have a little dog here. Mm-hmm. It's her family's. We've been looking after it. We're in this very small cottage. And, occasionally my girlfriend and me, the mood will strike. Things will happen. We'll get a little frisky.
Nice.
One night, the dog was around. And it was watching. And I guess my question is, how involved would your dog have to be for you to consider it a threesome?
Oh, good question. Because I know my GF has a dog, and I think it's a combination of, if it's watching and if it's like in the bed, I think it's spiritually it's a threesome. If you're into that philosophy, by the way, I think I don't want to get into bestiality, but I think it's as long as it's keeping a distance, I think it's spiritually a threesome. But I think that's all you need.
That's all you need. Yeah, that's the line right
well
there.
Well said, dude.
Yeah.
Certainly no contact of any kind.
Yeah. Sometimes they try. I've been around dogs who they'll try to engage, and you're like, this isn't your realm.
Right. Sit out. Yeah.
Yeah. Just observe.
Yeah.
And learn.
I was looking forward to asking you that question for a while. I wrote it down.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Do you are you really missing the outside, the outdoors? You seem like a big outdoors guy.
Yeah, that has been tough. I bought an assault bike to try and it hasn't come in yet, but
the one with the fan?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on my balcony so I can work out outside.
Dude, those things are a nightmare.
I love them.
I mean, you can't really do more than like 8 minutes on one of those.
I love them. They're great. I'm kind of like I like doing sprints and like actually I'm sort of an addict in that regard. So anything that I'm sort of a masochist, I guess. So I'll get on that assault bike as much as I can.
Giulio, do you know what an assault bike is?
Yeah, man. We used to have to, like if I was late to conditioning in college, they would make us do these like crazy circuits on them. They're miserable.
Yeah, they're punishment devices.
Yeah, they're fucking hard, man. Like it's hard to do them without pushing yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like when you really start pushing yourself, it's very easy to get to a point where you feel like you're going to vomit on one of those things.
Yes.
Yeah. But like the tension, the harder you go, the harder it gets.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, it's been hard not to go to the beach.
Yeah.
Get in the water.
Especially
No.
you're so close there. Did you move to Culver City to be close to the beach?
Yeah, so when I first moved up to LA, I moved to Hollywood, and I was like, I've been progressively getting more and more west.
Right.
And so it's just like if you live in like Venice or something, it's hard to get to like, West Hollywood and all that kind of stuff. So Culver is sort of like the prime location for, getting to like the east side of LA and also the west side.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is that the dog, Francis?
That's the dog. Yeah, he's all horned up.
I feel like you don't like that dog, man.
I go back and forth. It's a daily kind of seesaw.
What kind of dog is it?
It's a French bulldog.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you've ever heard one of these things breathe, but they have not figured it out.
Yeah.
It is a woman who cannot yet afford a rhinoplasty, but needs it desperately.
Yeah. Every time I watch them breathe, I'm like, this is some cruel joke.
Exactly.
It's just,
It's as if someone took their hand and then smushed your face and was like, deal with it.
yeah. Yeah. You're going to be cute, but
Dude, it's so funny. Francis, I can picture there being a moment where you look at that thing and go, that's not a dog.
Yeah. Oh,
you said
been
that?
there. Especially since when we came up to Maine, my parents are here and they have two beautiful aquiline yellow labs, right? These majestic, sleek retrievers who will go in the water and emerge dripping wet as if it's a swimsuit shoot. And next to them, this stumpy potato roll, deviated septum failure just looks like the Danny DeVito to Arnold Schwarzenegger's twin.
yeah. And they're expensive too.
Oh, yeah. Well, because not to get weird, you have to have a C-section in order to have them.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, they are, I think it's that. And I think it's like the mothers can't birth them naturally for some. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I say that like it's a bad thing. I was a C-section because my head was too big. So
I was too, dude.
yeah, 7 5/8.
Dude,
Very
big
cute.
thumbs is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, when you moved to LA, was there ever a part of you being like, I want to be there because the surfing is good? Or like, was that part of the,
No, actually the surfing is better in Orange County.
that's where you're from?
Yeah. So
I wasn't sure if that was part of your persona or if that was true.
no, I mean it's all pretty much, it's
Right.
all one and the same.
Yeah, love that.
But yeah, it's better in Orange County, and but this is where sort of entertainment is. So
Right.
and more councils, honestly. 'Cause, you got in Santa Clemente. There, you have San Clemente, you have Newport, you have Laguna, but here, we have Culver City, West Hollywood, Glendale, Santa Monica, Hollywood, LA. So, it's just, that was sort of the main impetus for moving, just more councils.
When you hear people categorize the people of Los Angeles and Orange County more specifically, and they're some of the negative stigma that comes with that, whether it's Real Housewives of Orange County or whatever, how does that make you feel? I mean, do you agree with some of those sentiments, or do you think that that's a mischaracterization?
I think it's a mischaracterization. I mean, obviously, if you go down to Orange County, you see a bunch of jack dads. You're gonna be like, "What the fuck?" But you know what? That's the lifestyle, and I fully embrace it. I drink green juice. I do salt bikes. So, whatever kind of characteristics they have. I don't know. There's always the beef. But it is funny going to New York. It's like whenever we go to New York, it is like you do see a very distinct difference in the way people are.
Definitely.
Which is
So what's your thought about New York people? What do you see?
I love New York people. I think they're just way more no nonsense.
Yeah.
Even like the waiters, you know, you go to like a restaurant and the waiters are like, they seem kind of pissed off that you asked them.
Totally.
Which I think is hilarious, and it's sort of I'm envious of it in a way, because I'm sort of I'm more on the too nice side of things. So yeah, it isn't. There is a distinct difference, but yeah, I don't mind that. You know, I love it in California, and you know, if people have you know, these ideas of it that are negative, I'm like, well, that keeps it less, you know, crowded. So
that's probably how Hawaiians feel too.
Yeah.
You make a great point. I sort of miss being spoken down to in
Yeah.
New York City. That brutal honesty, and
Yeah.
okay. So here's a question: when was the last time that you were mad?
Last time I was mad.
And I'm talking seething mad.
Seething.
Like throw a plate, whatever.
Let's see. Because I was gonna say I got pretty mad. You know, we were playing Halo last night, just bagging, you know, teabagging, and the other guys didn't teabag us back, and I got pretty upset because I'm like, you know, if I'm gonna bag you, you got to bag me back.
Yeah.
Like, that's not seething. I just sent them a stern message. Let me see.
Very stern teabagging.
Yeah. Seething mad, man. Let's see. Oh yeah, when my girlfriend told me that Coachella was going to be canceled this year, I really did. You know, she's like, this coronavirus is going to be bad. I'm like, don't you say that. Like, don't you bring that on me. Don't you bring that on me, Ricky Bobby. And she turned out to be right. So I apologize, but I was really upset. She's like, Coachella's going to be canceled this year. Disneyland's closing. And I like stormed out.
All right. So Coachella is a great topic. For me, for some reason, that seems like it would go against your ethos. And I bring that up because you talk about the falsity of people, or, you know, for me, it's such an image conscious, Instagram driven, superficial playground for 24-year-old women who love the movie Pocahontas. So do you go and do you actually enjoy yourself, and how do you deal with those people?
You know, I haven't been since 2014. But you know what? I there is that side of it for sure, but the good vibes, I think, overtake all of that. So, you know, it's like you can either choose to indulge in sort of the, you know, the vanity side of it or whatever, and like, you know, take your photos, or you can just, you know, fist pump with a bunch of, you know, good-natured bros.
Yeah.
Really embrace that side of it, which is like, I think with anything like that stuff, you know, this kind of goes back to our sort of thing of like staying stoked or whatever. It's like, it's all sort of how you look at it, you know. If like you go to Coachella and you see like the negative side, then you're gonna have that sort of bad experience. But if you just see a bunch of bros headbanging, having a good time, then, you know, it'll go the other way.
Damn.
Yeah, that is the root of that is very profound.
It is.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's like
I mean, it all starts with bros fist pumping.
Yeah. Here's a theory. Tell me if this holds any water. Am I right in suspecting that maybe the people that come to Coachella from the East Coast are actually trying harder to fit in and bring more of that kind of that bad side that I just talked about, as opposed to people who are, you know, already out there and just driving down into the wherever the hell it is and having a good time for the music's sake?
I think it comes from both coasts.
Okay.
Unfortunately, yeah. I think I think you'll get both sides. I think you'll get the true music lovers, the true good vibes guys and ladies, and then you'll get the people who just want to show that they were there.
Right.
It's unfortunate that the festivals, once they grow more in popularity, they sort of morph into that. Because I think I wasn't there when Coachella started, but I think it was much more sort of like felt much more pure to people.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's you just get the combo from everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
Yeah.
Have either of you guys ever been to Burning Man?
I haven't. Our buddy Corey has gone every year for past 10 years. I couldn't figure out what it was. I'm like, I don't understand what this thing is. Because people always post photos, and I'm like, what the hell is going on there? But it sounds cool. Have you guys been?
No.
I'm too afraid to go. I think I would need to try sort of the panoply of drugs in a more controlled environment before I went there. I would need to be familiar with the highs of so many drugs that I have never done.
Yeah.
Because you don't want, I feel like you don't want to be the guy there who's like, nah, I'm just smoking weed tonight.
Right.
That's the designated driver of Burning Man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you want to go there prepared to go on a 7-day quest.
Yeah. Like a true, you want to come home being like, I left no stone unturned. I never need to go back, but now I know what it's like to cross, ayahuasca with fucking whatever else.
Yeah. I know what it's like build a shack with a guy named, I don't know.
With gnomes.
With gnomes, yeah.
Chad, are you a drinker?
I am, yeah. I was, I raged a lot in college, and I've tried to pull back on it a little bit, but I will imbibe whenever the mood strikes.
Where did you go to school?
Santa Clara University.
Okay.
Yeah.
Steve Nash, right?
Steve Nash, yeah.
You kind of have the Steve Nash flow going a bit.
Oh, dude, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That's what I'm going for. Do you guys drink often? Do you drink?
Kinda.
Yeah.
I have a relationship with it that I'm kind of always trying to keep in check.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah, it can go overboard sometimes. You gotta,
I'm pretty mellow. I like to have I'm a glass of wine a night kind of guy, or there's this really good local beer company here called Maine Beer Company that's only a 4-minute drive away, and I like to go. They've got a little takeout window right now.
Yeah.
And I just go and I talk to those guys for a while.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's very nice, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been drinking much during quarantine though, because it's hard without like a big occasion.
Yeah.
It makes it much easier to avoid doing.
Yeah. I've drank twice, and we did like a Bud Light Twitch, and so we were drinking a bunch of Bud Lights and just got hammered on the stream, and then afterwards. You're with all your buddies, and then the stream ends, and you're just alone.
Yeah, dude. It's not that come down that like being hungover in this is nightmarish.
It's hard.
There's no world that will bring you out of it. You can't walk outside and force yourself to go to the gym and have a cup of coffee with a buddy and be like, "Oh, I'm so beat up."
Yeah.
You have to be miserable for a whole day.
Right. Yeah. It's I remember the day after I just had to sort of like I was so hungover that I was like watching I could only watch the news, which didn't help at all. And I was just like, I just have to. Today is just going to be a day that I suffer.
Yeah.
But I've heard that drinking and just drug use has gone way up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just because people are bored, I guess.
No surprise there. Here's something I've noticed. A lot of people like to come out these days and say that they wore blue jeans.
Right.
Everyone's tweeting, I wore blue jeans yesterday and it made me feel productive and all that. I feel like telling people you wore blue jeans yesterday is the new urge to recycle. It's the new like pat yourself on the back thing, virtue signal. I'm not all for it. And I'm not saying that, it's good to wear sweatpants every day either. I just don't think you need to tell people you wore blue jeans.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And plus blue jeans, I mean, that sounds like you're sort of, you're going to like work on your truck. Doesn't sound like you're going to work. If you want to, you should be wearing like slacks. Like if someone said I wore slacks today, then I'd be like, okay, respect. But I mean, blue jeans.
Yeah. Also saying blue jeans is like the narking, like I wore blue jeans. It's like, hello, fellow children. Let me have a hit of that marijuana.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't heard somebody say blue jeans in a very long time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It sounds like an 80s kind of thing.
Right. Totally.
Yeah. I'm wearing pants right now. Productive.
Hell yeah, dude.
But those look pretty comfy.
Yeah, they're my stretch slim khakis, yeah.
Nice.
Fire, dude.
Well, Chad, it has been an absolute pleasure. I don't think we have too much else to add. You've been a blessing to us.
Man.
Thank you guys for having me on. This is great.
So fun,
absolutely. Man. We can find you on Instagram at Chad Goes Deep. His podcast is Going Deep with Chad and JT. Check out their YouTube videos, so many of which are unbelievable, especially the town council grievances that you guys bring forth.
So funny.
Anything else that you want us to have people get knowledge of?
No, I think you covered it. Just Chad Goes Deep. And yeah. Thank you guys
cool.
for having me on.
Dude, you're also the Fast and the Furious vids that you guys are still doing are fucking amazing. Dude.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, dude. That's been sort of a lifelong dream of mine. Is just do a shot for shot remake of Fast and the Furious.
It's so funny, dude.
We're literally doing like every scene during quarantine. we're working on the why'd you bring the Buster here scene. Everybody Striders.
That's fire, dude.
Dude, yeah.
I love the you're pretending like you're racing, but the cars just aren't moving at all. There's no sound effects. There's no attempt other than facial expressions to make it seem like you're moving.
Dude, yeah, but I was like, once I added that song by Saliva in there, if you don't look at the windows, you feel like there's some
velocity.
Some velocity going on. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, for now, that's Oops the Podcast. Send your submissions into @oopsthepodcast@gmail.com, or that's our Instagram, rather. DM them as well. He's Chad from Chad Goes Deep. I'm Francis Ellis. That's Giulio Gallerati. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.